I'm really keen to talk a little bit about what GULL can do to empower disadvantaged youth, or particularly the young people that that schooling hasn't done well by. It's not that the government hasn't tried, that it's there aren't systems in place, but there's always fallout. And I know that that has been part of your concern over the years.
Yes.
You might be aware that Education for All is an initiative by governments and NGOs and aid programs around the world to ensure that every kid gets the heart of a basic education by the year 2015. 20 years of Education for All has gone by us now. We have 5 years left. And UNICEF is redirecting all of their resources to try and figure out, you know, we dropped school fees, we did what we could to get more and more kids in school. But the World Bank reports that have come out have verified that while we got a lot more kids in school, they're actually learning less.
Yes.
The percent of functional readers, the percent of kids that are really good at their basic maths or that have essential life skills is less than it was when we started 20 years ago. So there's this whole rethink going on. What can we do? We can't leave it all to government. You know, government's done what they can. We're trying to improve. But for this generation and for this time, what can we do, government, community, and families, working together to ensure that each child gets the heart, at least the heart of a basic education? What is that? Traditionally, we said literacy and numeracy. At least a kid needs to be able to read and to know his numbers. But after the AIDS pandemic, I think the whole global community was jarred and realized it's got to be more than just reading and math, even the heart or the essential, the core of an education. There's these essential life skills: critical thinking, ability to make good judgments, ability to manage your emotions, to communicate well, exercise your oral talents like P&G is so good at, social relationships, building good, positive, reciprocal relationships, and learning social responsibility. What does it mean to contribute to something larger than yourself? I think P&G has something to contribute there. At least many of the traditional societies that I was close to over the years celebrate relationship and reciprocity and respecting the other and figuring out how you can contribute to the common good of your group. And those are the things, when we promise that an education should lead to a productive and fulfilling life, you know, the math and the reading can help us towards the productivity, but without that sense of the collective good and how you contribute to it, education's limping, you know, limping on one leg. And so the global community is looking, how can we restore that other side to education? So it's not just about jobs, but it's about a meaningful life, about contributing, about relationships. So as in my thinking, as communities and families and schools put their heads together and say, what can we do now, collectively, not just the school? What can we do collectively to ensure that kids can read, can get the basic maths, and get these 5 essential life skills that have sort of fallen off the education agenda? And I think GULL is in a good position as communities come up with their action plans to think through what can we do to say, add teaching aids to the classroom and build their capacities through action learning. What can we do through education facilitators with the SMC, school management committees, and parent associations, in putting together an action plan, being good at that kind of facilitation around education? We could have a GULL track focused on that. How about parent participation in understanding the problems and coming up with solutions? if we had parent group facilitators, like we've done with civil society and NGO work for over the years, who use those skills with neighborhoods, raising their awareness about the possibilities. What's worked in India? What's worked other places? What can you do here? What's worked in some parts of PNG? Come up with action plans at work and have GULL tracks for these volunteers, for after school study group leaders. Mobilize what communities can do to strengthen these core skills and to add back what it means to live in relationship and what it means to live in community. So GULL's made a contribution globally just by your starting it, but I'm hoping that the kind of project that World Vision's trying to start in Bougainville now, and to focus education on disadvantaged youth and mobilizing communities around how they can contribute, and using GULL to enable the village volunteers to become professional and excellent at what they do and to be recognized for that is going to make a big difference, both here in PNG and in the other parts of the world where we're trying to do this, particularly over the next 5 years before the conclusion of education for all.